All right, we are now live. Welcome everyone here to the Project Life Mastery live stream. And today we're going to be talking about setting goals. We're going to be doing a goal setting workshop. And specifically, we're also going to jump into the 100-day challenge. So right now we're streaming this in 3 different places. Right now we're streaming it right now on YouTube, Project Life Mastery YouTube channel. We're also streaming it right here on Periscope. What's up everyone here on Periscope? And we're also streaming it right here on the Stefan James Facebook Live page. So if at any point during this stream, if you have any difficulties connecting, lagging, whatever it is, I'd recommend jump over to YouTube. YouTube's probably gonna have the best stream just because with YouTube, we've got the best quality camera. You're probably also gonna have the best view of myself and of course of the whiteboard here also. If you prefer Periscope, we're here on Periscope. And of course, if you guys prefer Facebook Live, we're available there as well. Now, before we jump into the goal setting workshop and the 100-day challenge, and by the way, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but today is a very important day. Anybody know why? Because today marks the last 100 days of the year, the last 100 days of 2016, which means that we got to make sure that we finish the year strong. We got to make sure that we step up. We got to make sure that we close the year the way we want to, because most often, a lot of people, they set goals at the beginning of the year, their New Year's resolutions, but for most people, unfortunately, they are way behind on those goals. For most people, they don't even check their goals. They don't even, they set a goal, they forget about it, right? They don't check back and, make sure they're on track and make sure they actually achieve them. So it's not too late, guys. It's not too late. There's still hope. There's still 100 days left. And so that's why we're doing this stream today. Is I'm going to share with you guys some of my goals for the next 100 days. And I'm going to get you guys to set goals for yourselves as well for the next 100 days and hopefully inspire you guys and help you guys finish the year strong as well. Okay. Now, before we get into that, I want to take a few minutes right now just to engage with you guys a little bit. So we got people from all over the world here. We got 82 people right now on Periscope, 84, it's going up. Thank you for all the love, by the way, on Periscope. I can see you guys tapping. We got 21 people right now on Facebook Live. We're also streaming this here on YouTube as well. And so I would love, number one, for you guys to leave a comment and let me know where you guys are joining in from. So leave a quick comment and let me know where you guys are from right now in the world. I'm right now in Vancouver, Canada, and it just so happens today is a beautiful day. So leave a quick comment. We got Slovenia, San Francisco, Miami, Toronto. Awesome. We got England, Seattle, Missouri, North Pole. Oh my God. New Jersey, Detroit, Michigan, Charleston, Atlanta, Texas, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Awesome, guys. Toronto again. Anybody from Vancouver? We got a few Canadians here. Honolulu, Hawaii, Berlin, Dubai. Cool. Looks like, we've got a few Canadians here, but welcome, guys. Calgary. Cool. Awesome, guys. You got people all over on YouTube. What's up, guys, on YouTube? I'm not able to see your comments, by the way, but my team is checking them. Cool, guys. And by the way, before we jump into it as well, I'd love for you guys to hit a thumbs up. So like this video, give me some love here on Periscope, give me some love on Facebook, hit a like. If you know someone that can benefit from this, someone else that you might know in your life that could benefit by setting goals, they need that boost of motivation, inspiration, make sure that you share this. I appreciate that helps me to be able to reach more people as well, okay? Now, before we jump into the goal setting workshop, how are you guys gonna maximize the value that you guys get from this stream? I take my time seriously, and you guys take your time seriously as well. And I want to make sure that I don't waste your time. And I want to make sure that I deliver for you guys. And so my outcome today is I want to make sure that I deliver the best content that I can to help you guys set goals. I'm going to use the whiteboard here. I'm going to share some really powerful information and tools and strategies that have transformed my life. Back when I was broke, I was struggling in my life. I was depressed. A lot of what I'm going to share with you guys has helped me get out of that position to where I am today. So I'm going to do the best that I can to add value, but I want you guys to get your value in return. And unfortunately, it's not enough just for me to speak to you guys. You guys also have to participate. You guys also have to play full out. You guys have to make sure that maybe you're taking notes, you're writing down certain things, and you're capturing certain things that you can later apply to your life. And so to get the maximum value from this, number one, take notes. You know, there was a study that was done that if you just sit there passively and you just watch a stream, you go to a class, you go to a seminar, whatever it is, 30 days from now, you're only going to retain less than 10% of what you learn. That's it. But studies show that if you actually take notes, then retention goes up 30 days later up to 55%. And if you go beyond that and you actually make sure that you're in a peak state, you're actually making sure that you're energized, you're alert, you're focused, and you're taking notes, retention goes up to 95%. So I want to make sure that you guys actually retain and get the maximum value from the time that you guys are investing here. So take notes, make sure that you're sitting up straight. If you're in your car watching this, if you're at the gym, whatever it is, make sure that you're focused, you're paying attention, and I want you guys to engage with me. So there might be certain points I might ask you guys on Periscope, double tap, give me some love, let me know that you guys are there, you guys are awake, you guys are paying attention. I might ask you guys to leave a comment as well, because I want you guys to be engaged. I want you guys to play full out and make sure that you guys are focused and alert. I don't want this to be a one-way street, okay? It takes two to tango. Remember that. So write things down, whether you have a journal, open up Evernote, open up a document on your computer, whatever that is, okay? Now, goal setting workshop. As I said, guys, 100 days left in the year. It's not too late. And if you've set goals at the beginning of the year and you're kind of falling a little bit short, I want you guys to know that it's okay. There's still time left. Don't beat yourself up about that. And it's time now to get focused on what you want to achieve for the remainder of 2016. Now, many of you guys follow me on my blog, on my YouTube channel. You guys see my monthly goals reports. I set my goals at the beginning of the year. I share my goals publicly, and then every month I do an update. I share with you guys the progress. And I want you guys to know and understand that although we're going to set goals in today's workshop, that goal setting is not enough. It's not enough just to set goals, because goal setting is just the first part of achievement. You can set goals and still come up short. You can set goals and forget about them. You can set goals and not take action. And unfortunately, that's what most people do. Anybody can set a New Year's resolution. Anybody can say that this is what they want to create for themselves. But the real key, guys, is execution. And so I'm going to address that with you guys in today's stream as well. I'm going to talk to you about how to actually, when you set a goal, what to do after that. How to actually make sure that you're taking massive action and you're actually achieving the goals that you've set for yourself. Because that's where all the transformation happens. It's not just with information. It's not with more knowledge. Knowledge is great. Information is great. But it's not enough to change your life. You have to apply that knowledge. You have to apply that information if you want to have an impact in your life, okay? So we're going to talk about setting goals. We're going to make sure that you guys actually follow through. You apply yourself on the goal. And I'm going to take you guys through some of my goals and be transparent with you guys as well. Okay, sound good? Hit a like, hit a thumbs up, double tap if it sounds good. Awesome. I wish that you guys were here right now. That'd be awesome if we had everybody here and I could, you guys could raise your hand and, actually participate. But unfortunately, we're doing this virtually, so you guys have to communicate with me with your comments and your likes and your thumbs up. Okay, great. All right, so let's get into the goal setting workshop, guys. First, I'm going to share with you guys how to actually set goals. A lot of people, they don't actually know how to set goals. And there's a bit of a process that I utilize in my life and that I've done that has helped me a lot. And of course, there's always different philosophies out there when it comes to goal setting. Now, when it comes to setting goals, guys, many of you guys know Project Life Mastery. I did a YouTube video about my Life Mastery Circle. And what that does and what that represents is that you want to make sure that you're making progress in each area of your life. Not just in your business or career, not just in your relationship, but every aspect of your life, because every area of your life is important. And so what I'd recommend that we do is when you set goals for the remainder of the 100 days, set goals in certain areas of your life that you really want to grow and focus on, okay? So for me, I'm going to set 5 goals for the next 100 days. And you can set one goal if you want. You can set 2 goals. You can set 5. You can set 10. whatever is best for you, I want you guys to understand there's no formula, there's no one way that works for everybody. You know, if you can handle 5 goals, 10 goals, great. If you can't, then start with 1, start with 2, start with 3. I'm gonna do 5 because I like to focus maybe on 1 or 2 business things at a time. And then I also like to focus on some personal goals. So I'm gonna have a goal for my health. I'm also gonna have 2 goals for my business. I'm gonna have a goal for my personal growth, my self-development, and then I'm also gonna have a goal for my relationships. And the reason why it's important to make sure that you're setting goals in each area of your life is to ensure that you're making progress in each area of your life. Because whatever you focus on, you move towards. Whatever you focus on, you attract more of. Whatever you focus on, you get. And when you set a goal, it's basically a way for you to consistently focus on something that you want. So setting goals in different areas of your life is key. And like I said, you got to decide how many goals do you want to set for the remainder of the year, okay? And make sure that you set an amount of goals that you can comfortably handle. You're not going way too far and setting 50 goals when you struggle just to achieve 1 or 2 goals. That's just not realistic, and you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, okay? So I'm going to set 5 goals. I'm going to set goals in different areas of my life, okay? So that's step 1. Decide how many goals that you guys want to set. If you guys want to leave a comment, let me know how many goals that you want to commit to for the next 100 days. And by the way, one thing I want to mention too, make sure that when you set these goals, you're going to fully commit to them and follow through. Because whenever you make a commitment to yourself and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this goal, but then you don't do what you said, that's not good. Because what happens is that's going to lower your self-esteem. It's going to lower your confidence. You're not going to feel good about yourself. And what's going to happen is you're not going to trust yourself fully. You're not going to have faith that the next time you set your word, you commit to something that you follow through. So make sure, that's why you got to be careful when you commit to things that you don't overcommit at the same time. But you also got to make sure that you don't undercommit either. So it's a fine balance of that, okay? Now, decide on how many goals. We got people here commenting. A few people here said 5. Awesome. Now, when you set goals, you want to make sure that you set what are called SMART goals. SMART goals. Anybody know what SMART means? It's an acronym. I'm going to share with you guys. Many of you guys might have already learned this from me or other self-development. It's a very common acronym that's used. So I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. And by the way, you might not be able to see this. You guys can see it here on Periscope and Facebook, but it might be flipped a little bit because it's, with the camera. So SMART is an acronym. What it stands for is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timeline, okay? So each letter means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timeline, okay? So you got to make sure that your goals follow this philosophy, okay? This is something that I live by when I set my goals. So specific, you got to make sure whatever goal that you set is very specific and very clear. If you set a goal that says in the next 100 days, I want to make more money, well, that's not specific enough to really know what that target is. That's like just saying, I want to go to Russia without having a specific destination. You can just show up and you may show up in the wrong part of Russia. I don't know. Or if you say, I want to make more money, okay, great, here's $1, you made more money, right? Or I want to lose weight. Okay, you lost a pound. Is that really the goal though? No, you want to get very specific on what that goal is. So if you have a goal where you want to, in the next 100 days, make a certain amount of money, you want to be very clear on how much money that is, the exact number that you want to achieve within the next 100 days. You also want to get clear if you want to lose weight, what's the exact amount of weight, right? If you're going to do a certain discipline, whether that's working out every day or doing your morning ritual every day, be very specific. In the next 100 days, I'm going to work out 5 days a week consistently for the next 100 days. Or I'm going to do my morning ritual 3 days a week or 7 days a week for the next 100 days. So the more specific that you can be, the more powerful that your goal is. because your brain, when you focus on something, it's like a smart bomb. You know, these smart bombs, when they know precisely what the target is, they can maneuver themselves to hit that target. So even though it might be off track or whatever, it can hit it. And the other important piece of that is it gives you the ability to make sure that you're consistently measuring and checking in on the progress of that goal. So it becomes measurable, which is important, which is actually the second piece, measurable. So when you have a specific goal that you break it down in a way that you can measure it consistently, that's what allows you to check in to know whether or not you're making progress. Because oftentimes when you set the goal, you might be taking action, but sometimes you might get off track. And the only way that you really know if you're making progress towards that goal is by ensuring that it's measurable and checking in to make sure, okay, you know what? I said I was going to lose 15 pounds. You got to be able to measure yourself every day, every week, every month, whatever that is, to see where you are, right? Because if you have that specific goal, but you're not able to check in and say, okay, you know what? I've lost 3 pounds so far, 5 pounds, or 10 pounds, or 1 pound. Based on checking in and measuring that, you can make the necessary adjustments in order to get on track to achieve it, right? So if you only lost 1 pound, maybe you got to change your strategy. Maybe you got to change the actions that you're doing. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you can measure consistently where you're at with that goal. Number 3 was attainable. Attainable, very important. That also ties in with realistic as well. Now, there's different philosophies when it comes to goal setting. You know, a lot of people, they say you should just set these monstrous goals, right? Where I want to make $10 million in the next 100 days, and meanwhile, you've never made $10,000 or $100,000. Now, the problem with setting these lofty goals, the problem that I have with it, and what I noticed with myself, because that's something that I learned and I started doing myself as well, is that when you set these goals that are just totally way out there, beyond anything you can even imagine, what's going to happen is you're not going to have the belief that you can achieve it. And one of the most important things with achieving goals is confidence. You see, you have to believe and have faith and have that certainty that you're going to be able to achieve that goal. And so when you set a goal, like I want to make $10 million in the next 100 days, you've never made 100K, your brain is not going to believe that. And so when you don't believe something, are you going to take action? Probably not. In fact, you're probably going to doubt the journey. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt your goal. You're probably going to come up short, right? And you're going to have a lot of limiting beliefs that are actually going to hold you back from that. And so you're not going to fully go for it as much as opposed to having a higher level of belief. But at the same time, you also want to make sure that you don't set a goal that is too easy for you to achieve. Because if a goal is too easy to achieve, then it's probably going to be a smaller goal and you're not going to have as much desire to achieve it. So one thing I've learned, there's kind of like a scale that I like. This has really benefited me. I recommend you guys write this down. When setting goals, you want to make sure that on a scale from 0 to 10, okay, on a scale from 0 to 10, whatever your goal is, you want to make sure that it's a 7, 8, 9, or 10 on the level of belief. Meaning that if you set a goal, you got to make sure on a scale from 0 to 10 that you believe it at least a 7, 8, 9, or 10. I would say more an 8, 9, or 10 to have that level of belief in it, okay? If you set a goal, I want to make $10 million in the next 100 days, and you ask yourself, what's my belief on that scale from 1 to 10? And it's a 2 or a 1, that's not a good goal, okay? So make sure you have at least 7, 8, 9, or 10 level of belief in achieving that goal. The next piece is making sure on a scale from 0 to 10 that you have the level of desire for that goal, a 7, 8, 9, or 10, okay? So the desire for that goal is also important. So for example, if you set the goal, in the next 100 days, I want to make $100. Well, your belief that you can achieve that is probably going to be a 10, right? Everyone here, you would believe that you can achieve that 10 out of 10, $100, pretty easy. But the problem is your desire to make $100 is probably going to be like a 1 or a 2. Right? It's like, okay, great, I know I can do that, but that's not going to really excite me. That's not going to motivate me. That's not really going to inspire me to really go for it. So that's why you want to pick a certain goal that you have 7, 8, 9, or 10 belief and 7, 8, 9, 10 desire. Okay, got it? Awesome. Very important. Now, the other piece is timeline. Okay, having a timeline, meaning you got to have a deadline. You got to have, okay, I'm going to achieve this goal, but by when? And that's where the 100-day challenge comes in, because there's 100 days left. You got to have a specific date by December 31st, September 22nd to December 31st. That's the day, that's the deadline where you've got to achieve your goal by. And deadlines really help us get into a state of urgency, which is important. It creates pressure. And remember, pressure creates diamonds. And if you didn't have a deadline, then what reason do you have to really push yourself? What reason do you have to really go for it? You'll often end up just dabbling. If you look at back when you go to school, maybe some of you guys are in school right now. When you go to school, there's certain projects, there's different assignments, there's homework, and there's a deadline, right? Where you got to get the project done, you got the test on this specific date. And by having that deadline, what that does is it forces you to ensure that you've handed in that project by that date. And if you don't, there's a consequence. The consequence is you might get a bad grade. You might fail the class. And so because there's that deadline, there's a consequence, it forces you to step up. It creates urgency within yourself. And that's why most people, when they're given that deadline, they're much more likely to act and follow through. So having that deadline, okay, is very important. So you want to make sure every goal that you have, it's not open-ended, but you have a specific date of when you're going to achieve that goal by. All right, so this is the SMART philosophy. This is something you're going to want to write down. Okay, make sure you take a screenshot of this if you guys want right now on Periscope and Facebook. Make sure that you guys can refer to this again and again. Remember this. And one more thing I'm going to mention too, going back to the attainable and realistic, the key is also setting goals that you will achieve. When you set a goal, you got to achieve it. You can't back out of your commitment. Okay, that's a very important thing, because I know a lot of people, they set these goals and they keep backing out of them. They don't fully commit. They don't burn their boat, so they have to take the island. And like I said before, the problem with committing to things and not following through is that it kills your self-esteem. It kills your confidence. When you say to yourself, today I'm going to go to the gym, and you didn't do it, and then you say to yourself again, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym, you didn't do it, and then the third day I'm going to go to the gym, and you didn't do it. By the fourth or fifth day, you're just going to give up, or when you say you're going to go to the gym or do something, you're not going to believe yourself that you're actually going to do it. So that's why it's important to build that commitment. So that's why oftentimes I'd recommend to set goals that you can achieve. They're realistic, they're attainable, and they're a bit of a stretch with you. And then when you achieve them, you slowly scale it from there. And that's what I did. If you guys follow my journey, I've been sharing my goals for over 3 years on my blog. Since the beginning, since 2012 actually, when I first started Project Life Mastery. You guys can go back on my YouTube channel, check out the goals that I set in 2012. That's back when I had hair and I didn't have the camera equipment that I have today, and I was just using a little digital camera on a stack of books, and I decided I'm going to share my goals. And I shared my goals, and you know what? When I set goals, I would achieve them, and then I'd slowly scale it up. Once I achieved that, then I'd set the next milestone and achieve that. And it was just very slow and steady until you guys have seen the goals that I now achieve today. And I still slowly just kind of up the ante. I'm not going to, change everything all at once. I'm just slowly scaling up and slowly improving. And over several years, what happens is you totally transform your life. You totally change the quality of your life in every aspect of your life. So it's a process, but set those attainable, realistic goals, and slowly, once you achieve that, great, you're going to get confidence from that. You're going to build off that success. You're going to get momentum. You're going to get more confidence, and you're going to be able to set bigger goals for yourself as well. All right? All right, so let's go into actually setting specific goals. Now, I want you guys to ask yourself, what are areas of your life that you want to change? What's a goal? What's a desire? What's something you want to create for your life? And I'd be curious to know how many of you guys right now have goals. Can you guys leave a quick comment here on Periscope or Facebook? How many of you guys have goals? And if you don't have goals, you could share that as well. Share, if you have goals, yes. If you don't have goals, share no. Okay, awesome. And how many of you also have a vision as well? A vision is actually the more important piece to start with that I'm not going to go into in this video, but when you have a vision for your life 10, 20, 30 years from now, then oftentimes the goals that you set short term, Long-term are basically just kind of milestones to help you achieve that ultimate vision that you have for your life. So having a vision is key. And so that's why I want you guys to think, okay, a lot of you guys, awesome, cool. I want you guys to think, what are some goals that you can set in different areas of your life? And I wish that I could be there with you guys to actually know more about your goals and your vision and help you a little bit more with that. And so I need you guys to think for yourself right now. Maybe take out your journal and write down what are some areas of your life, what are some goals, what's that vision, what do you want to accomplish, what do you want to achieve in the remainder of 2016. And because I can't really see your goals, I'm going to share with you guys mine. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys my goals that I'm going to commit to for the remainder of 2016 for my 100-day challenge. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate it for you so that you guys can get an idea of how I do this, and you guys can model it. You guys can model what I'm sharing with you guys, and as you guys are writing this in your journal, you guys can write your goals down and create them for yourself as well. Okay, so I'm going to draw them. I'm going to write them out here. And I'm going to follow the SMART philosophy. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to language my goals in an important way. Okay, I'm going to show you how to enhance your goals, because you want to make sure that your goals are compelling. You want to make sure they excite you. You want to make sure that when you see your goals and you think about them, when you focus on them, they get you juiced up. So first goal that I have for myself is actually a health goal. Some of you guys that follow me on Snapchat probably already know what this goal is. And by the way, the goals that I'm going to share are actually goals that I also set at the beginning of the year, but I'm focusing in on for the remainder of 2016. So my first goal is a 15-day juice fast. Okay, that's for my health. Now, I'm actually already on day 5 of my juice fast. And many of you guys know this just from following me on social media. And I've got this as a goal here, and I'm gonna go into actually a few things first before I go into actually explaining how to enhance that goal. But this is a goal that I have for my health. Okay, and I believe that your health is wealth. Your health is one of the most important areas of your life. And when you really master your health, everything else enhances, because when you're healthy, when you're energetic, it's going to enhance your productivity. It's going to enhance the passion that you have in your relationship. You're going to be able to pursue your goals, your dreams, and take massive action. And so one of my goals that I've had every year is I always go on a cleanse. I always make sure that I give my body a break from just oftentimes the destructive way that we live, whether that's eating certain foods, whether that's the pollutants that we breathe in, whether that's the metals from water and showers and chlorine, all these things that create toxicity in the body that can really cause us to, suffer energetically, that can actually lead to disease later in our life and cause a lot of problems. I always make sure that I take 15 days out of the year, I give my body a break, I proactively decide, you know what, I'm not sick, I've got great health and energy already, many of you guys know this, but I want to be proactive, because most disease, cancer and heart disease are preventable diseases according to the National Academy of Sciences, right? These are diseases that part of it's genetic, but also part of it's lifestyle related, because so many people, they live a life that's so acidic. They live a life where they're just putting more toxicity into their body that the body can handle, and your body's always cleansing itself, right? That's a misconception people have. It's not like you go on a cleanse and you're always cleansing itself, but what happens is your body, when you put more toxicity into your body than your body can eliminate or assimilate, then you get a buildup in toxins. And when that buildup in toxins hits a critical mass, what happens is your body will try to get rid of that toxicity through the bowels or the urinary tract or the lungs or the skin or, these different ways, or disease can grow in the body and it can be much worse. So I decide, you know what, I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna do a cleanse, and I'm gonna make sure that I take care of my body, this incredible gift that I've been given, and I optimize it the best way that I can to ensure that I don't get sick one day, or at least prevent it as much as possible. Might as well do as much that's at my disposal to actually prevent that from happening, and to enhance my energy, because energy is life. Okay, write that one down. Energy is life. If you want to achieve anything of meaning in your life, it's going to require a tremendous amount of energy. So always remember that you want to take care of your body. So that's my reason for this goal. And that's why I do it. And so for me, I'm already on pace for this goal, right? It's one of the most important goals that I have for myself this year, this juice fast. I'm already on day 5 right now, and as you guys can tell, my energy is great. It's actually much easier for me to do it this time around than last year. I found usually the first few days is the hardest, but it's actually been pretty easy for me. And by the way, a great documentary, if you want to learn more about juice fasting, is called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead by Joe Cross. It's on Netflix. Watch that. It'll change your life. And then also watch Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead Part 2, also on Netflix. And then if you want to take it further, get his book called Reboot with Joe. He shares with you how you can do a 3-day juice fast, 15-day. He does 60 days in the documentary, and he cures an autoimmune disease that he has, gets off all his medication, meets a truck driver that also does a juice fast, and he was, obese, changed his life, cured himself. Like, it's amazing. And Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead Part 2 is more like the crazy epidemic that he created from juice fasting. So it's pretty inspirational if you want to learn more about it. So this is the goal. This is my health goal. Now, the goal that I have here is that, is that really compelling? No. If I said to myself, this is what a lot of people do. I'm going to do a juice fast in the next 100 days. Great. That's not a smart goal. It's not specific. It's not measurable. There's no deadline. It's not compelling. It's not a goal that you really want to set. So what you want to do is you want to enhance your goals. So if my goal is to do a 15-day juice fast, I'm going to write it out in a sentence that's going to be more exciting and compelling for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it into kind of like an affirmation, something I can say to myself again and again, something that I can integrate to my morning ritual and repeat all throughout the day, every morning, that will remind myself, focus on it, get me excited for it. So I'm going to write out in a more compelling language for you guys. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys can read this or not, but I'm going to read it out to you guys. Now, I wrote a little sentence here, and what it says is, I will easily do a 15-day juice fast to cleanse and heal my body, creating unstoppable energy and vitality by December 31st, 2016. Okay, and by the way, this is actually, these goals that I'm setting, I've thought of these goals, but I've never the languaging of them right now, I'm basically just making up on the spot with you guys. There might be some enhancements or ways I might change it, but what I did was I turned it into a sentence that's exciting, that's compelling, and it's following the SMART philosophy. So first is I will easily. This is actually an important part. So I will, these words are all important. I means I'm taking responsibility. This is something that I am going to do, and I'm phrasing it in a way that I'm going to do it. Will. Very important. You don't want to say I want to. Will ensures that you're actually going to be doing it. Okay? So will is an important word, and then easily. Just by adding the word easily, it changes the way that it feels, this goal. How you feel about it. I will easily. One thing that you can do to enhance the language is I will easily and enjoy the process. Because when you change the way you language something and you change that goal, it's going to allow your brain to come up with different ways that are going to be easier and more enjoyable as well. So that's why I like to say I will easily do a 15-day juice fast. Okay, so 15 days is specific, a juice fast. And then I also put in a little bit of the reason, the purpose for it as well. To cleanse and heal my body, creating unstoppable energy and vitality by December 31st, 2016. So I've got the deadline, I got the timeline, the deadline there. It's a goal that's realistic, that's attainable. I've done cleanses before in the past. It's something that I know that I'll be able to achieve. And how you want to language it is up to you. I like to use language that when I think about it, when I read it, when I say it, it motivates me. It makes me smile. It gets me revved up. It gets me, excited for. So that's why I say, unstoppable energy and vitality, and I want to cleanse and heal my body, and this is what I'm going to get and accomplish by doing this cleanse. Does that make sense? Good. So that's an example of a goal, and I can find ways to enhance it and make it better, but now this is something that I can read out loud every day. I can focus on. I can put it on my whiteboard. So I'm constantly focusing on what I want to achieve. Okay, second goal that I have is a business-related goal. Okay, it's a business-related goal. And the goal that I have is a goal that I shared in my monthly goals reports that you guys might have known, is to, let me write it out first. All right. So the next goal that I have is I will easily create a new life-changing self-development video course that will add massive value and transform people's lives by December 31st, 2016. Okay? So this is a goal that I've had for this year. I want to, many of you guys know my morning ritual mastery course. Many of you guys have bought that and love it. I want to do another self-development course, this time a more in-depth one, a video training course for 30 days that will help people enhance every area of their life. And so this is a goal that I have. I'm committing to it for the next 100 days. I can make it more specific, right? So I've got a life-changing self-development video course, but I could be more specific about that. I could be more specific about what the course might include or what I want it to achieve, and add more clarity to that goal if I want. I've languaged it in a way that's inspiring for me. I've also got the deadline, December 31st, 2016. Okay? And also a key word here is to create. So my plan for this goal is to create the course, have it ready, but I'm probably going to launch it maybe in January, right? January 2017. So my goal, to be very clear, is to create the course, have it ready, and then, it's available and ready to launch in January. Great. You guys will be notified of it. So that's my second goal. My third goal is a business finance goal. Okay, so I'm going to write it out. And by the way, if you guys, hopefully as you're watching this, you guys are thinking about your own goals. You're thinking about your own life. You're thinking about your own, you're thinking about your own goals and vision and what you want to create as well. Okay, because that's something I want you guys to ensure that you guys set by the end of this stream, the end of this stream. All right. So the next goal is a business finance goal. I will easily earn $2 million in revenue with Project Life Mastery by December 31st, 2016. Okay, so I'm very specific about the amount. Many of you guys might have a financial related goal. The amount of money that you want to generate, okay? Whether it's revenue, whether that's passive income, whether that's, whether that's profit, you want to be clear and specific on what that is as well. With my company, Project Life Mastery, that's the deadline, okay? And many of you guys know, you guys have been following my monthly goals reports. I'm on track with that goal. Based on last month, we did 1.3 million so far this year. It's more than that when I do my monthly goals report for September. But this is a goal, I'm still behind. There's only 100 days left. I got to find ways, I got to step up if I want to achieve that, right? And it's a bit of a stretch for me because last year we did about 1.5 million, right? And so it's an extra 500K. And, there might be certain projects and certain things. That's why, some of the other things I've got going on, other goals, are going to help me achieve that goal as well. So having that plan of attack, that's something we're going to talk a little bit later about also. And by the way, one more thing I want to mention is that your goals and my goals can be totally different. That's okay. Oftentimes people, you might look at your goals and compare them to someone else. And I want you guys to understand that your goals can be different. Your goals, everyone's at a different level. Everyone's at a different stage. And you want to make sure that you set goals for yourself that you know that you can achieve, that are right for you. There was once a time in my life, my goal was to make $1 online. That was it. My goal after that was, how can I make $100 online? And then it was, how can I make $100 in a month? And then it was, how can I make $1,000 in a month? How can I make, $2,000 a month, $3,000, $4,000, and just slowly scaling it up. There's once a time for me, if you guys, I started this goal setting process when I was 17, 18 years old, and give you guys, I'm 30 years old now, and when I started it, my goals when at 18 years old were, to get a girlfriend or to travel and leave Canada and actually travel somewhere. Another goal was to actually move downtown, right? So if you're watching this and maybe you're a student in high school or maybe someone you're further ahead, don't compare yourself with others. Understand that you got to set goals that are going to be best for you, and you're just going to slowly improve from that and just slowly try to get better and enhance your goals as time goes on. Okay, number 4. Fourth goal is a self-development goal, okay? And this is also based on a goal that I have for this year that I committed to. The goal is I will easily read 5 books by December 31st, 2016. Okay, 5 books. Now, again, it's following the SMART philosophy. Maybe I can make it more specific. If I list, okay, I'm going to read this book, this book, this book, and this book by the end of the year. Again, the more specific I can be, the more powerful it can be as well. But I know that the more that I learn, the more that I'll earn. The more that I learn, the more that I'll be able to share with you guys. The more I'll be able to impact your life, the more I'll be able to impact my life. And so for me, that's an important goal. My goal this year was to read 20 books, and I've read 15 so far. And so this is something that I want to make sure that I close in on to achieve at the end of the year. And by the way, a lot of people ask me, what books do you recommend, or what books are you reading right now? If you guys follow me on Snapchat, my Snapchat username is Stefan James 1. Stefan James 1. Follow me there. I share the books that I'm reading. My monthly goals reports on projectlifemastery.com. I share my goals there as well. Or sorry, the books that I'm reading there as well. You guys can follow along and see that. So you guys can follow along and see that. And yeah, so you guys can follow the books that I've read if you have questions about that. What I'm reading right now is the book, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. I'm also reading an ongoing book that I've been reading has been The Greatest Salesman in the World, because this is a goal that, this is a book rather that you read over time. You read every day for 30 days, one chapter, and then the next chapter. So it actually takes you about a year to finish that book. And I'm also reading the book called Grit. Okay, it's called Grit. And that's by Angela, I don't remember her last name. Maybe if someone knows, they can comment on it. But it's called Grit, and it's about passion and perseverance and just having grit in your life, which is a very important quality. So, all right, my 5th goal. This goal is a relationship goal, okay? All right. I will easily create more passion and love in my relationship with Tatiana by doing our bi-weekly relationship journal by December 31st, 2016. All right, so this is a goal. I could say, I want to create more passion, more love in my relationship. Great, but again, it's not specific. So you want to think, okay, how can I make that more specific? How can I either measure that love or measure that passion, maybe on a scale from 0 to 10? What I decided to do is I created this bi-weekly relationship journal that my girlfriend and I have. It's a process, it's a ritual, because I think rituals is one of the best ways to actually act on certain things. And so the ritual that we have is every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, we do a relationship check-in. And there's maybe I'll have to do another video on this, but the process is basically we check in with each other on our vision for a relationship. Okay, so you got to make sure you got a vision for a relationship, something that you're moving towards. By the way, oftentimes a lot of relationships, they have a vision initially, but then it kind of tapers off. Oftentimes for most people, their vision when they first get together is, you meet someone, you want to make them your girlfriend or boyfriend. That's the vision, right? That's the goal. And then once you get that, what's the vision after that? Okay, maybe the vision is to move in with them. Okay, great, you've done that. What's the vision next? Maybe to travel with them. Great, what's the vision after that? Maybe it's to get married. Great, what's the vision after that? Maybe to have a family. Great, maybe it's to have a house. Oftentimes, most relationships, they taper off because they lose a vision after that. Once you're married to someone, you've got kids, okay, great, you've achieved the vision, you've achieved the goal, what's next? So you always got to have a vision in your relationship, in your life, in each area of your life that's exciting and compelling for you. So, we have a process, we check in on our vision, we got goals to travel, goals to learn things and do things, and all these things that we can grow together in a relationship so that we're not growing apart. We're aligned with our goals as well. Part of our bi-weekly check-in is we check in on each other's needs. So many of you guys know Tony Robbins' work. It's called the 6 Human Needs, where you check in and you ask yourself on a scale from 0 to 10, how much certainty do you feel in this relationship? How much variety, excitement, surprise? How much significance, how important, unique do you feel to your partner? How much love and connection is there on a scale from 0 to 10? And how much growth and how much contribution? So you want to ensure that in your relationship, you're meeting each other's needs. And the way that you do that is you got to put the other person's needs above your own. And when you meet someone's needs, you're going to have a love slave. You're going to have someone that, you're going to have that passion and that lasting connection. I've never had a relationship or met a relationship where I've talked to someone that said, you know what, my partner, I feel so certain of them, or feel so certain of our love, of our future. And there's so much variety, there's so much surprise. We're always doing fun, exciting things. There's so much, connection and love. I love this person more than anything, and I feel so significant and important to them, and we're always growing and we're always giving each other. I want to leave that person. That never happens, because when you're meeting that person's needs, they're going to be fulfilled by you. Oftentimes, if you don't meet the person's needs consistently, then that's when there's going to be challenges in that relationship. So we do a process like that. We do a process where we check in on the 5 love languages. I'm not sure if you guys read that book. That's a great relationship book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary. Someone maybe know the name. No, it's not Gary Keller. Maybe someone will know, but The 5 Love Languages, great book. There's words of affirmation, there's physical touch, there's quality time, there's acts of service, and then there's gifts. Everybody has a different love language. Everyone has different needs. And you're gonna, sometimes you might be in a relationship with someone where their love language is different than yours, and you got to make sure that you're putting their needs above your own. So 5 love languages. We also go through these relationship questions. We ask ourselves, we ask each other, what are you grateful for in your partner? What are you grateful for in a relationship? How can you give more to your partner? What's a magic moment that you never want to forget? And we just kind of revisit these moments of our lives and moments from our relationship and enhance it and, think of ideas and ways and feel that gratitude. And that creates a deeper connection and bond. It creates more passion. So we go through a process like that. We also capture and record magic moments. We think about, okay, what were the moments that we had over the last 2 weeks? And we actually write them down in journal, and we have relationship books. And, all the things and experiences that we've done together, so we can always look back and reflect on that and remember all the things that we've done together as well. So, and by the way, someone here, Mike, shared the book Grit. The author is Angela Duckworth. Okay, great. All right, guys, so these are my 5 goals. These are the goals that I'm going to commit to in the next 100 days. And I'm publicly declaring them to you guys right here, you guys here on YouTube, you guys here on Periscope, and you guys here on Facebook, okay? Now, As I said before at the start of this stream, setting goals is great. And hopefully you guys have set your goals or you're taking notes and you're going to set them immediately after this session that we have together. Setting goals is great, but it's not enough. Because how many people do you know, they set goals, they set these dreams, these desires, but they don't follow through. They set these goals and they say, I want to create this. They get all excited about it on that first day. And then tomorrow comes and you're in a totally different state. And when you're in a different state, you might not have that same excitement because the reality of life occurs. Maybe you get tired. Maybe you get, things happen in your life. Things come up. Maybe you don't feel like doing it, right? There's many different factors that can get in the way. And so what I've found is goal setting is not enough. I want to make that clear for you guys. It's great to have goals. Set them. They're powerful, okay? Language them in a way like this that excites you, at least so you have some excitement and it's compelling for you. But really, setting goals is like the first step. It's like the first 10%. The other 90% is actually achieving them, actually taking massive action. And so there's a few things I can share with you guys to help ensure that you guys achieve your goals and help make sure that you guys follow through. And I'm going to share them with you guys, things that have helped me in this stream as well. And then, by the way, we're going to do a bit of a Q&A too. So I'll kind of share a few things with you guys, and then we'll do a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, stick around for a little bit. You'll be able to ask your questions of me, and I'll do the best that I can to answer them for you guys, okay? Okay, 100-day challenge. This has been one of the most important things that I've done that's changed my life. And specifically, there's a course many of you guys might be aware by Gary Ryan Blair called the 100-Day Challenge, which is a course that I went through. And I'll share with you guys a little bit of a story and how I got into it. And this has been a strategy, kind of like my secret weapon I kind of joke about, that I've done every year for the last few years that's really made a change in my life. Because oftentimes when I've experienced something that's really enhanced my life, I do it again and again. It ensures that I actually consistently do it because I know my life always gets better when I do it. So if you guys want to join it, I'll share with you guys a bit of an opportunity if you guys want the extra push and accountability. But by setting a 100-day challenge, and the word is challenge, for 100 days, you got that deadline. What that does is it pushes you to demand more of yourself. And I found when I have that deadline for that goal, and I said over the next 100 days, I'm going to do these 5 goals, then what happens is I'm going to step up at a higher level. So the 100-day challenge has been a powerful thing for me, and I actually got into it many years ago. I think I was maybe 23 or 24 years old, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, or 6 or 7 years ago. And I was living in my friend's living room. My friend Depeche, who I actually just saw yesterday, we did a cryotherapy appointment together. I was living in his living room in Kitsilano, which is not far from where I live, and he was living in this house, and I didn't have a place to live. I was in debt, financially, credit card debt. I was struggling. I wasn't very happy. I'd done all this self-development stuff. I had set goals before, but I wasn't following through. I had set these goals, but I wasn't consistent with them. And I lived in my friend's living room temporarily, just to get myself back on my feet, to save money, to get myself out of debt. And I had a friend. His name's Wade Lightheart. Many of you guys might know him. I've done a YouTube video with him. He's like the health guy. He's a 3-time national bodybuilding champion. He went to Mr. Universe, competed, and did it as a vegetarian. He's muscular, all natural, all vegetarian, which is insane for most, especially for the bodybuilding industry. And so he was a mentor that I had at the time, and now he's a great friend of mine and a very successful person. But at the time, he said, Stefan, there's this 100-day challenge that I'm doing by this guy named Gary Ryan Blair, and my goal is to make $100,000 in 100 days. And I was just like, wow, that's amazing. And so he was sharing with me this program, and so I looked it up and everything, and I found it. And it was by this man named Gary Ryan Blair, created this goal-setting process. Gary Ryan Blair, he's known as the goals guy. And the reason for that is he's written books about goal setting, and he goes into these Fortune 500 companies and helps these companies set goals. And he helps to, he's worked, with ESPN and AT&T, like all these big companies, and he goes in and he does, workshops and helps the team set goals and outcomes for every quarter and actually achieve them. And so he's an amazing person at what he does. And so he created this program, And at the time, it was like $100 or $150. I didn't have the money for it, but I knew that I needed to invest in myself. That's one thing that I always knew. I needed to invest in myself because my life would never change if I keep doing what I've always done. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always keep getting what you've always gotten. So I knew that I needed to do something different. And so I was like, you know what? This could be the answer for me. And I knew how to set goals, but my challenge was actually being consistent, was actually following through with them. That when I set a goal and I make a commitment, that I actually go all in and I actually achieve it. So I bought the program. I was living in my friend's living room, right? And I'm going through the program every day. The program has these 5-minute videos that you watch every single day. And you set your goals, you watch the videos, they motivate you, they inspire you. You put in on the website, it has what are you going to do today, and it emails you to make sure you're accountable. And then they have these after action reviews where every 2 weeks you got to fill out this form to check in on your goal, which is very important too. So once you set the goals, you got to check in every 2 weeks. Are you on track? Are you making progress? Are you behind? What changes do you need to make if necessary in order to achieve that? And so that for me, is exactly what I needed to actually follow through on my goals. So I'm going through the 100-day challenge and I made it to like day, I don't know, I want to say 30, 40 or something like that. And I quit. I'm not lying, I quit. And I just fell behind. I missed a day and I missed 2 days. And then I tried to get back on track and then I missed other days. And I was, just constantly falling behind with it. And, I gave up on it, unfortunately. And then I realized, okay, the next 100 days after that, I need to commit to this again. And this time I got to finish it. So I bought the 100-day challenge for the next year after that. And what happened was I made it to like day 70 or 80 or something like that. And I still didn't finish it. But I said to myself, you know what? If I can't commit 100 days and do something every day for 100 days, then how am I going to achieve success? How am I going to be able to create what I want in my life? If I can't even do a simple thing every day of watching a 5-minute video, I saw a big flaw in my character, a flaw in just my consistency, something that was holding me back. And so that's why I decided, I'm going to keep buying this program just to finally get to that point so I could say I did something every day for 100 days. Because I knew that if I could build that as a habit, that would change everything in my life. That would change everything else if I could learn to be consistent, if I could learn to set something and follow through and do it every day. And for me, the information in the program is great. The videos, all the things you learn. But for me, what was more important was the habit of it. Because if you can set and achieve, man, you're going to be able to change every aspect of your life. So sure enough, I think the third time I did it, I did the 100-day challenge. And then after that, I've done it every year since. I've done the 100-day challenge, I think 7 or 8 times now. I did it already twice this year. Many of you guys know I start off the year with the 100-day challenge. I did another one when I was in Dominican Republic, you guys know, when I created Affiliate Marketing Mastery. And now I'm doing another one today. So it's actually my third 100-day challenge this year. And you know what? Even though I bought it, 8 times, paid for it, it's the same thing. I'm committed to mastery, man. Mastery is through repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. I don't care if I already know the information. Knowing is not enough. You can know it. Knowing is different than doing, and doing is different than living. So you can know what to do and not do what you know. So I don't just want to know the material in that course. I want to master. I want to be living it. And so that's why I'll continue doing it every day until I've mastered that. And every time I do it, my life enhances and I achieve my goals. So 100-day challenges, the course, by the way, if you guys want to get access to it, it actually just became available today. It's only available certain times of the year. And it's only open for a few days, I think like a week or 2 or 10 days or something like that. It's only open for a limited time. Then it closes and then it opens up again in January and other different times of the year as well. And the course is about $150 or $170 maybe. But if you guys want to step up, commit, join it. Gary Ryan Blair is actually someone that's become a friend of mine. We've actually talked many times. He was actually here in Vancouver not long ago and he called me up but didn't get a chance to hang out. So it's actually really cool. This person that I invested in who was like this mentor of mine has now become a friend, which is really amazing. And so I actually emailed him today and I said, Gary, can you put together a coupon code, some sort of discount for my members? I'm doing a live stream. I want to get the word out about this program. And so he said, yeah. And he said, I'll give you a $25 off coupon code you can give to your followers. And I said, how about $50 off? And so I negotiated with him a little bit. I was able to get you guys a $50 off coupon. I never had this when I got into it, so I'm going to share that with you guys right here. So if you guys want to join the 100-day challenge, here's how you can do it. Here's how you can get $50 off. Limited time. It's only going to work, for I think the next week or so. I recommend to get on it now because you guys are already in the state. You guys are already setting your goals. There's 100 days left. Let's not delay. So in order to join the 100-day challenge, this is what you need to do. Step 1, Step 1, go to projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge. Okay? projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge. Okay? And maybe what will happen is maybe my team can leave a comment in Facebook and also on YouTube, and we'll put it up on YouTube as well. But go there. Step 2, use the coupon code MASTERY. Okay, so when you go there, you sign up. It's going to take into a checkout page. You put in the coupon code MASTERY. It's going to take $50 off of your purchase. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3 is I've got more for you guys. Now, as I mentioned, Gary is someone that's impacted my life. This program's impacted my life. And what happened was I reached out to Gary I think it was about 2 years ago and said, Gary, can I interview you? Can I do a special interview? I want to ask you questions. I want to learn from the goals guy, the master, the guy that's mastered his life. I'm not sure how old he is. I think he's in his 60s, but he spent his whole life mastering goal setting. He's worked with these Olympic athletes. He's worked with these professional athletes. He's worked with celebrities, businesses, Fortune 5. I said, can I interview? I want to learn from you directly and ask you questions about how to actually, the psychology of goals and how to actually make sure that you're consistent in achieving your goals. And so Gary agreed. I did an interview with Gary. I think it was about an hour long, and I recorded it. And I didn't make this public. This interview is not public anywhere. And I want to offer that for you guys as a special bonus as well if you decide to join the 100-day challenge by following these instructions here, okay? So if you guys want to get this exclusive interview that I did with Gary, you guys can get it as a bonus. I've never released it. It's just something that's kind of been at my private vault, something I've listened to many times. We can send that to you. All you got to do, again, step 1, sign up through projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge. Step 2, if you want the $50 off, use coupon code MASTERY. If you don't want it off, you don't have to use it. You can pay the full price if you want, but that's going to save you $50 off. Step 3 is I want you to email us. So I want you to, when you sign up, you're gonna get an email receipt. And I want you to forward that email receipt to support@projectlifemastery.com. Okay, support@projectlifemastery.com. Someone on my team is gonna receive that, my customer support team. We're gonna verify that you ordered the 100-day challenge and it's legit and you actually ordered through us. And then we're gonna email you the bonus. Okay, we're gonna email you the bonus interview for you to keep to yourself, listen to, and be able to benefit from. You can put it on your iPad, your iPhone, your iPod, listen to it again and again, and that's something that can help you with your goal setting as well, okay? So those 3 steps, projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge, coupon code is MASTERY, and then email receipt to support@projectlifemastery.com. Okay, guys? And if you want to take a screenshot of this right now on Periscope or on Facebook Live, you guys can take a quick screenshot if you're on a mobile phone. Make sure you guys remember this. And remember, this is only available for a limited time. I think the next, we'll maybe put it out there. I think it says on the website how long it's open for. So as long as you join before then, you guys can take advantage of this. All right, now 100-day challenge, this is one important thing, okay? And by the way, One of the reasons why this is so powerful is a few reasons. I'm going to use a different color. One is because of the investment mentality. You see, when you invest in something, you got skin in the game. You're going to take it more seriously and you're going to commit more. You know, many of you guys know I was in Business Mastery 2 or 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas. That was the most amount of money I've ever spent for a seminar, which is $10,000. And I flew to go there. I had to book my hotel and $10,000 to go. And funny enough, I actually ended up spending another $10,000 to donate. Many of you guys know I donated $10,000 to help Operation Railroad with the human trafficking and the horrible things that happen there. Very expensive. But the great thing is I've learned is that when you invest a lot of money to something, you take it more seriously and you get way more out of it. So for me, because I spent so much to get there and pay something that was a lot of value to me and did that, what happened was when I was at the event, man, I was playing full out. I was showing up early, I was taking notes, I was reviewing my notes during the breaks, I was recording streams and videos to remember what I was learning. I was, after the event on the flight home, I'm reviewing my notes and I'm actually implementing what I learned, because oftentimes when you just get free information, you don't value it the same way as when you actually pay for something. And the same thing for me when I invested in the 100-day challenge when I didn't have any money, because I knew that I was just totally desperate. I knew that I had to do something. In doing so, for me, the $150 was a lot of money, but I had to step up and actually was more likely to follow through as opposed to just saying, okay, I'm going to do a 100-day challenge without actually investing anything and really committing to it. Another reason why it's powerful is accountability. See, when you commit to something, you're going to be accountable to it. The 100-day challenge has built-in accountability, which is great. Gary Ryan Blair is the master at that. But another way you can get accountability is by having an accountability buddy. So maybe you have a friend, maybe there's someone that you know that's also on the same journey as you. You can hold each other accountable. You can check in with each other, because when you're committed to something and you share it with someone else, they're going to hold you accountable to that, right? If you can have a coach, a mentor, great. If you can publicly declare your goals, like what I'm doing right now and what I've done on my blog, by publicly declaring it, it creates accountability as well, because now I'm accountable to you guys. If I don't achieve my goals, you guys are going to check in with me and say, Stefan, what happened to your goals? How did the juice fast go? And I say, oh, well, you're going to lose your respect for me. You're not going to, it's not going to be the same you're not going to trust me as much if I don't follow through on it. So for me, it creates pressure and urgency by being accountable to others, being accountable to you guys. Declaring it, many of you guys that are in my Affiliate Marketing Mastery course, you guys know in the Facebook group, I say, I make you guys post your goals. We do a goal setting process in my courses. Post the goals in the Facebook groups, because if you're a part of a Facebook group community, now you can hold each other accountable, and just the act of sharing it makes you more accountable as well. So if you want to share your goals, that's great for accountability as well. Okay. Another important thing that's worth mentioning is every time you set new goals, it's always the hardest at the beginning. Okay. Developing new habits is always the toughest at the beginning. And so you might have these goals for the next 100 days, a new habit you want to install. The first beginning of that is the toughest, because I once heard as a great example that it's almost like a rocket going to space. You see, when a spaceship goes into space, it uses 80% of its fuel just to get outside the Earth's atmosphere. And then once it's in space, it doesn't require much fuel. Same thing in developing new habits, changing yourself, changing goals, whatever it is. The beginning is always the hardest. It's going to require a lot of discipline, a lot of willpower, pushing yourself. So be aware of that. And so one thing that's been helpful for me is the goals that you write down, put them somewhere that you can visually see them every day. Put them in your office, in your bedroom, your bathroom, in your car, so that you have to always focus on it. You can't avoid it. You can't hide from it. You can't forget it. You got to make sure that those are so ingrained in your mind that you're always focusing on them. If you can also add them and actually read them out loud every day, turn it into an affirmation, focus on it every single day, write them out if necessary, that's also another great way to ensure that you're focused on it. Okay? And also, there's more processes that I can share with you guys. We're not going to have time in this video, but making sure you've associated the purpose for your goals, the reasons why it's a must, why you will do whatever it takes to achieve them. You got to associate pain to not achieving your goals and the ultimate pleasure to achieving them. So using the pain and pleasure principle, creating neuro associations of pleasure to achieving your goals. Very important. You want to make sure that you do that. You want to make sure you have an action plan. You have the specific actions. You want to focus on the most important actions that can achieve that goal. And you want to get into massive action. That's the most important thing. Okay? So there's a lot more that I can share on this process with you guys, but I think I've talked enough about it. Like I said, if you guys want to learn more about the 100-day challenge, go to projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge, coupon code MASTERY to save $50, and then email your receipt, support@projectlifemastery.com to get the bonus. So what we'll do now, guys, is we'll do a Q&A. So if you guys are live now, we got 50 people, 51 here on Periscope, we got 30 here on Facebook, and many more on YouTube. I'm going to spend a few minutes to answer your guys' questions. So if you guys have a question about goal setting, motivation, the next 100 days, the 100-day challenge, whatever questions you guys might have for me, you guys can post it here on Periscope, Facebook, and on YouTube. And maybe what I'll do, just so I can make sure I get some YouTube ones, is maybe if you guys can dig up a few good ones, and then I'll ask you guys, and maybe you guys can share the question, and I'll answer it. And if you can keep your questions short, okay, don't give me a whole paragraph or essay of the question. Keep your questions short so that I can read them and I can give you guys an answer, okay? So if you guys have any questions, post them now. And by the way, guys, I want to make sure you guys are engaged, so hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, double tap. I want to make sure you guys are active. Just going to have a sip of water here. All right. So one question that I have here is how do you find a mastermind group, and how would you recommend finding one? Okay, one is you got to surround yourself with like-minded people, number one. And so wherever you live in the world, there's something called meetup.com, and there's different communities. And you need to proactively go and join these communities, these meetup groups, these seminars, events, whatever's happening in your city, and you want to participate. You want to actively go, because in doing so, you're going to meet other people that are into self-development, they're into business, they're into health and fitness. And the same thing goes with each area of your life. If you're into fitness, you can find people that are into health and fitness in your area by going to the events, the seminars, and the meetups. So you need to proactively do that, and you need to network with people that are at these events. And sure enough, when you consistently go, you're going to meet the same people. The same people are always there. Okay, that's one thing that I did, is I started going to these events and these meetups, and I was able to, develop friendships. And then sure enough, I was able to develop these friendships with people, and then we'd form our little mastermind, they become my accountability buddy, and it's great from there. So that's one thing that you can do. The other thing you can do is you can find virtual masterminds. So you can find them in Facebook groups. Instead of going to meetups, you can find Facebook groups in health and fitness. You can meet people, engage, interact. You can become friends with people there. You can do Skype, masterminds and Google Hangouts, and develop virtual relationships. I've got virtual masterminds I'm a part of. I've got local friends and masterminds I'm a part of as well. So that's always great also. 3 is you can pay for it. There's a mastermind group I pay for every year called the Brotherhood. I think I pay $2,500 a year for it. You got to be making a certain amount of money to join, at least $250,000 a year. They carefully screen you to join it, but there's other ones that you can join that are cheaper. Obviously, the higher level the mastermind, the more successful people, the more you're gonna have to pay for it. But I pay to get access to high level people, because everybody has the challenge as you grow. It's harder to get access to people maybe that are further ahead than you. So you got to pay for it as well. So paying for it is the third way. And by the way, someone asked about the Project Life Mastery bracelets. I'm actually not wearing them right now, but those are actually going to be available. I can announce them, I think, in the next week or so. Right now we've got them up on Amazon, but I'll announce it on my Snapchat or social media for you guys about that as well. And by the way, for those that are on Periscope, there's a bit of a challenge sometimes that I can, because your questions disappear, I'm not able to see them and process them enough. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So Let's see. I hate myself. I didn't do any of my goals this year. And how do you monetize Snapchat? Well, one, don't hate yourself, because hating yourself, getting hard on yourself isn't going to do anything for you. It's actually going to make things worse. When you don't achieve a goal, it can be useful to give yourself a bit of pain just to, kick yourself in the ass, get on track, but you don't want to indulge in it. You don't want to beat yourself up, because then you're just going to kill your self-esteem and confidence. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You got to understand there's no failure, there's only feedback. And so if you set goals, you didn't achieve them, that's incredible feedback. You just got to look at, okay, why didn't I achieve them? What happened? I don't achieve every goal that I set. I achieve maybe 90% of them. Many of you guys know, you see my monthly goals, I achieve 90% of my goals. There's always 10% I can learn from that. I learn, okay, you know what? Maybe my schedule, I didn't schedule things the right way. Or maybe I changed my mind, or things happen, or, you got to be flexible at the same time also. So flexibility is power, but don't beat yourself up and hate yourself over that. So understand that there's incredible lessons that you can learn. You always can learn from failure, okay? In fact, it's no longer a failure if you learn from it. So learn from that, and then get yourself back on track and get yourself into taking massive action. And then you ask, how do you monetize Snapchat? There's many different ways. If you have your own products, if you do affiliate marketing, those are the top two ways. If you've got a following on Snapchat, people that follow you, and you have a product that can maybe serve them and meet their needs or solve their problem, or maybe it's an affiliate product, something that people can benefit from, you can just share that with them on Snapchat, and then you can earn money in doing so. All right, question from YouTube. How do you determine increments with your goals? Well, every goal is a little bit different, okay? So if you can break down your goals into increments, that's great. Often for me, I set my more long-term goals, which might be my yearly goals, and then I break them down into increments. And so if you have a certain project, let's say the project that I have to develop a new self-development course. Well, in the next 100 days, I'm going to create and develop the self-development course, but how can I break that down into smaller chunks? Maybe one thing that I could do, I could say, okay, by, there's 100 days, and by, October 30th, I'm going to have finished the videos of the course. That's going to be the first increment, the first milestone. And then from October 30th to December 1st, we're going to have the videos edited and the membership website set up. And then from December 1st to December 31st, we're going to have the marketing and the sales material set up for that project. So you just take the goal, the project, you break it down. If I've got the goal, I'm going to read 5 books. Okay, how can I break that down in 100 days? How can I break that down into increments? Well, I could say, well, in the next, 5 books over 100 days, that's a book every, 20 days? So, 20 days from now, that's the deadline for book number 1. 20 days after that, that's book number 2 I've got to finish. Book number 3, 20 days after that. So you can break it down in increments just by planning it that way. Reno says, what was the single most powerful action that you took to improve your relationship to money and wealth creation? The single most important thing was changing my beliefs, changing my blueprint. Because oftentimes we have beliefs about money that are inner conflicts. You might have the belief or the desire where you want to make a lot of money, but you also have an inner conflict that says you want to sleep till noon. You want to make all this money, but you don't want to ever have to sell. And to make money, you're going to have to sell and influence people, but maybe it doesn't have to be a bad thing. A lot of people, they have mixed beliefs and associations around selling or sales, thinking it's a bad thing, when they don't realize that nothing in the world changes until something is influenced or sold. That influence is the ultimate power, and that you can influence people in a positive way by providing products and services that actually meets people's needs and solve their problems. So I've got no hangups about selling. I think selling is a great thing because I know that if you don't sell or influence someone, they're not going to take action. They're not going to make a change. Oftentimes for most people, they won't make a change until they actually invest in something and actually go for it and commit to it fully. So for me, it was resolving those inner conflicts. It was identifying, okay, what's stopping me? What's holding me back? What are the beliefs that I have about money, about success? And then what do I need to resolve that? And you guys know I'm a big fan of morning rituals. Every day I'd condition these new beliefs. I'd learn NLP, all these different strategies to overcome these limiting beliefs and associations that I had. And then also, honestly, it was fully committing to myself to it. I realized that success and making money and wealth, it was a should, it wasn't a must. It was something that, you know, I would like to be successful, I'd like to make money, but only if it was convenient, only if it fell in my lap. And I realized that I needed to make success my moral obligation. I had to make it something that was the most important thing in my life, because creating more success and financial abundance could allow me to amplify my experience of life. It could amplify my happiness, my joy. I can create more experiences for myself and others. I could give more, make a difference in other people's lives. And so I made it a must, and I realized I needed to do whatever it took. And I wasn't doing whatever it took, because I would say that I do whatever it takes, but then when someone that was successful would say to me, Stefan, buy this book or buy this program, go to this seminar, I'd say, yeah, but, and I wouldn't do it. It wasn't until I actually said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give up me knowing what's right and having this ego. I'm going to listen to you. You tell me what to do. Okay, I should get that coach. All right, I'm going to do it. I should get the 100-day challenge. All right, I'm going to do it. Okay, I just stopped questioning it and fully committed and went all in with it. And in doing so, I raised my game to another level and I stepped up. Dan says, how do you stay focused when you're in debt and living with your friend? Well, you know, for me, I was just making it an absolute must, setting these goals and then making it the most important thing. And I had to make sacrifices, right? You got to get rid of some distractions. For me, I made sacrifices in my social life. I had to say to my friends, hey guys, listen, I need to step up in this area of my life right now, and I need to take care of it. So I'm going to be MIA for a little while. I had to make a sacrifice there. I had to, stop having as much fun on the weekends. I had to give up, watching TV shows and movies and all these sort of things in order to do it. If I wanted to get in really great shape, I needed to give up eating junk food and, all those sort of things, So part of getting what you want is knowing what you have to give up in order to have it. And so I fully came to grasp that I need to make a sacrifice, and a temporary sacrifice. Doesn't mean you got to cut out your friends forever, but maybe it's for the next 100 days. You got to, still spend time with them, but not as much. Sometimes they're going to say, hey, Stefan, let's go out this weekend, or this great party, or this great event. And as much as I wanted to go, I just said, I can't. Saturday night, I got to work on my business. I got a fitness competition coming up, and I got to follow my diet plan. I've got a 15-day juice fast going on right now. I'd love to go for dinner with you, but I can't, right? By me doing my juice fast, I got to make a sacrifice, a short-term one. But I'm always reminded of the value, the pleasure of what I'm going to get in doing so. So I always focus on that and why I want it. All right, so the question on YouTube is, what if you have 10 goals? Shall I cut them off at 5 or lower them? Totally up to you. If you can handle 10, great. If you can handle 5, great. You want to make sure, like I said, that you're actually achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You don't want to set goals and then not achieve them, because then you're building the habit of failure. And I see that time and time again. I've got people that I know, they're always setting these goals, and then I check in on them, and these people, I've been in masterminds with them. I'm like, okay, great. You didn't achieve any of the goals that you said. So they set goals again. They didn't achieve any of them either. And they keep repeating this cycle. And what's happening is it's lowering your self-esteem. It's building the habit of failure, not of success. And so I'd much rather, if you can set 10 goals and achieve 10 goals, great. But if you can't, then start with a lower amount. Start with 1 or 2 or 3 and slowly work your way up. Make sure that whatever goals you set, they're smart, they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. You're actually following through and achieving them, and you're getting that confidence from that. And in doing so, then you have more confidence to set more goals. People see me, and I set a lot of goals every year, and I set more than what I share on my blog, because there's always new goals that are coming up. People ask me, how do you set so many goals and achieve them? Well, I didn't start that way. I started with a few goals, and I slowly built myself up, and every year I'm just trying to do a little bit more. I'm trying to push myself a little bit further, but I don't bite off more than what I can chew. So whatever amount for you that is realistic and attainable for you, that's the most important thing. That you have that 7, 8, 9, 10 level of belief and that desire for it. That's a sweet spot that you want to focus on. Next question is, how often do you review your progress on YouTube? I review my progress every month through my monthly goals reports. I publicly share with you guys as well. So every month, sometimes every 2 weeks, and sometimes every week, to be honest with you. And I think you got to find what's best for you. There's times for me, maybe initially, I'm going to check in every week. There might be certain goals I'm a little bit more focused on that I'm going to check in weekly or bi-weekly. But overall, every month, that's the more public one that I do with my monthly goals reports. And so checking in regularly is key. How do you put realistic timelines on your goals? Well, it's a bit of speculation because nobody really knows. You got to have a timeline that you believe is realistic, and you got to really make sure that you've thought through the goal and you're thinking, okay, what's gonna be involved with that? For me, one thing I've learned is because I have a hectic schedule, I'm always traveling and doing different things, I got to make sure that my timelines and my schedule actually make sense. For example, for me, I'm traveling in November and December. I've got so many different things going on that I got to make sure there's no conflicts. And so with the timelines, sometimes I'm a little bit more generous with them because I know that other things are going to come up, and there's sometimes with some goals, business goals, you got to wait on other people and you're depending on them to get back to you. And so I kind of always factor in that. So I always like to be a little bit more safe and cautious with my timelines. You can always achieve a goal before the timeline, before the deadline. That's totally fine as well. But you just got to do the best that you can to speculate with the goals that you have. Let's take another YouTube one. What do you do when you reach or fail a goal? Any rituals or celebrations? Great question. There's actually a lot more that I can share with you guys in goal setting. One is when I set goals, this is a great strategy. I always make sure that I set up a reward and a consequence, okay? A reward and a consequence. The reward is some sort of pleasure that I'll give myself in achieving it, because whatever gets rewarded gets reinforced. Whatever gets rewarded gets repeated. When they train, there's a great book called Don't Shoot the Dog. And when they train animals, when they train dolphins, and the same applies for human beings, positive reinforcement is really important. Negative reinforcement, sometimes it's good. Pain can drive you as well, but the positive reinforcement is how you make something last. And so whenever you do something well, you got to reward yourself. For me, that could just be patting yourself on the back, or it could be just acknowledging yourself in a certain way. For me, I like to set up a reward when I achieve the goal. Then maybe I'm going to do something awesome for myself. Maybe it's going for a massage. Maybe it's going on a trip. Maybe it's getting to do something awesome that really fulfill me and reward myself in some way. Maybe it's some sort of treat. You got to decide what's going to reward you the most. Maybe it's a spending spree to go shopping. And then also having the consequence. The consequence is the pain of what will happen if you don't do it. Now, the ultimate consequence is always the emotional consequence. Not being consistent with your identity, the shame, the lowering your self-esteem, not following through on your word. That's the ultimate pain, right? Because you got to look yourself in the mirror, and it doesn't feel good to acknowledge that about yourself. But if you can have a consequence that's different as well, that could also be powerful. So it could be, for me, in mastermind groups I'm a part of, or different groups, we'll have a consequence. If you don't achieve the goal, or we didn't do what we said, then you're going to have to donate money to charity, or you're going to have to give another guy. I've done things with my friends where you write a check to each other, and I say, hey, listen, here's a check for $100 or $1,000. You get to cash this check if I don't achieve this goal by this date. And if I achieve it, then you got to rip up the check. What that does is a consequence. My friend's going to get this money from me, and it's going to create another reason for me to follow through and step up. So having consequences are great. Again, you got to find what's going to be a consequence that will motivate you. But you got to identify what that is and set that up. And that's why it's great. Also, if you can have an accountability buddy or a mastermind that can also hold you accountable to that. You got to really burn your boat so you take the island. It's a common phrase that's used. When the ancient Greeks, they'd go to take over an island, they'd arrive on their boats. When they'd get to the island, they would set them on fire. Someone just said that's crazy. But I was saying, well, that's crazy as well, to burn your boats, right? You have these ships that you just arrived at the island, but why would they burn their boats? Because by burning the boats, it eliminates any possibility of retreat. It eliminates any possibility of moving back. You can only move forward. You have to take the island. You have to conquer. And by having that mentality of having no plan B, no retreat, it's going to make it a must. You're going to have your back against the wall, and you're going to step up at a higher level. So that's one thing that's been powerful for me, is cutting off any possibility of moving back. People that are dabblers, those are always the ones that have one foot in, one foot out. They're always looking, okay, well, if I get lazy a week from now, or I change my mind, or whatever it is, then I can just get a refund and I can back out, and I'm going to change my goal to something else. And they're always changing their mind. They don't fully commit. They don't have the mastery mentality. Mastery mentality, the master commits fully. They go all in. When they say they're going to do something, it gets done. And you got to adopt that mentality in your life. It's like what I struggle with the 100-day challenge. I didn't finish it the first time, so I just kept going back. I didn't beat myself up too much. I just got back to it, did it again and again until I finally learned how to master something, until I learned to commit to something and be consistent with it. So we'll answer a few more questions, guys, and then we'll wrap things up. Randy said, how many goals per area of your life do you set for the year? There's no set amount, really. I mean, for me, at the beginning of the year, I just think, okay, what do I want to create for my life? What are the areas I want to focus on? I always set goals for each area, of course, but there might be some areas that might have 5 goals or 10 goals. Other areas might have 1 goal or 2 or 3 goals. It totally depends. For me, there might be certain experiences or trips or things I might want to do. So there's no set amount that I have. And truthfully, every year I'm doing more. I'm achieving more goals because I learned how to work smarter, not harder. I learned how to use leverage. I learned how to hire people and outsource and delegate and be more efficient and more productive. And I'm always able to improve my capacity to be able to do more as time goes on. Landy said, like what you touched on regarding goals in your personal relationship. Do you have any recommendations, books, courses, or other resources on this subject? I mentioned the book, The 5 Love Languages. That was a great one. There's another good relationship book by, I forget the guy's name. It's on my blog. If you go to projectlifemastery.com, my monthly goals reports, you can see the books that I've read at the bottom. I've got some relationships, ones that I've read throughout the years, but the one that I'm thinking about is slipping my mind right now. But 5 Love Languages is great. Tony Robbins is great. I learned a lot of stuff from him about relationships. He's got, Date with Destiny and things like that. Jacob asked, when is the Project Life Mastery bracelets going for sale? Hopefully next week. And let me just see what other questions. All right. Someone said, I'd like to hear more details on the 100-day challenge program. Is it just videos? Not sure what it entails. All right, well, go, number 1, to projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge. You'll learn everything about what's included when you sign up right there. But it has videos, it has PDFs, it has a number of different resources. There's certain PDFs that they have that you can download for what they call the after action report, the AAR, which is basically a bi-weekly check-in that you submit. Also, it's like a members area that you get access to, and in the members area, you can put in what you're going to do for that day, and it emails you that as well for accountability. So it's many different things. You're getting like the members area that have the videos, that have the PDFs, that have you submit different things and everything too. There's a community. There's like a community where you can interact with other people. If you want to build that virtual mastermind, you can meet people in the 100-day challenge, connect with them, and build that community and build that virtual mastermind and do Skype calls and support each other and all that sort of stuff too. And Gary Ryan Blair is always improving it. He's always making it better. So he's always enhancing it in different ways. But again, I'd recommend you go to projectlifemastery.com/100-day challenge. You'll learn more about what's included there. And again, get that $50 off, guys. This is something I had to negotiate to get you guys. It was originally $25. I got you guys $50 off. So use the coupon code MASTERY. Okay, use that on your checkout. And then to get the bonus MP3 interview that I did with Gary on goal setting, going really deep with it, then email your receipt that you get to support@projectlifemastery.com. Okay, support@projectlifemastery.com. Forward that to us, and then we'll send over the bonus for you guys as well. So a few more questions. Awesome. Got a few people that have joined. Awesome, guys. Congrats. Way to step up. One person said, I've done the 100-day challenge, do it again. Once is not enough, you gotta master it. Someone said, how do you avoid the shiny object syndrome? There are so many things that you can do. It can be hard to sticking to the plan. Okay, that's a great question, the shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome is when, there's always a new shiny object. And so therefore people, they dabble. They're just kind of all over the map. They're looking for the instant gratification. Like I said, you got to have the mastery mentality. You got to make sure that you commit to something and you go all in. All right. For me, when I commit to my goals, I'm all in on those goals. There's going to be other things that come up, other opportunities. You got to learn how to say no to those things. I remember one great story from Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin. This is from the book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. They were sharing this, how someone went to Richard Branson, they emailed the company and said, we want to have Richard Branson speak at one of our seminars. And we're willing to offer him $30,000. And the assistant replied back and said, no, Richard Branson cannot speak right now. So they emailed back and said, well, we're willing to offer $50,000 for Richard Branson to come speak. They said no. Then they offered $100,000 for Richard Branson to come speak. And they said, no, there's no amount of money that you can pay to have Richard Branson come and speak at your event, because Richard Branson right now is focused on these very specific goals, and he will not entertain anything that will distract that. See, he was so focused, he was turning down other opportunities because he was focused on a specific goal. Now, for me, what happens is there will be other opportunities that come up. And part of success is being able to take advantage of opportunities as well. So to give you guys an example, for me, I'm always investing myself. I'm always buying stuff that can improve my life. Anything that can improve my quality of my life, I buy. Any book, by the way, like if you guys look at my Kindle, I've got hundreds of books. I have people that recommend, Stefan, you should read this book, that book, that book. I buy them all. It doesn't mean I don't have to read them all at once, but I buy them all because I trust these opinions, these people that I respect and look up to. They're sharing with me a resource that can enhance my life, so I buy it. Now, you can buy these courses. I've got tons of courses that I've purchased that I've yet to finish and go through. I've got this webinar training course. I've got some other ones. There's only so much time in the day. I invest in them, but I make sure that I schedule when I'm going to get around to it. So for me, I might buy something, a course. Doesn't mean that I've got to go through it right away. I get access to it. I'm finishing what I'm doing right now. Next month, that's when I'm going to go through it. That's when I'm going to read this book. Right? That's when I'm going to go to that seminar. That's when I'm going to start this or that, but sometimes there's opportunities, discounts, and sales. So oftentimes I just buy them and then I schedule them in, and I just make sure that I don't get distracted from what I'm focused on and committed to at a certain time. So I'll answer one more question. I'll answer this one. Okay, we'll do a YouTube one. If you can complete one goal before you die, what would it be? Wow, that's an amazing question. If I could achieve one goal, it's really challenging because what's happening right now in my mind is going to be more based off my values. So there's kind of like two that kind of come up for me. One, maybe three, but one is something around just living my potential, because for me, I believe that really it's about actualizing and maximizing your potential of life. So for me, before I die, just knowing what I've become, that's important to me. That's one of the most important things, who I've become. Because at the end of your life, what people are going to talk about is not how much money that you made. They're not going to talk about, all these different things that you did in that car or that house. They're going to talk about who you became, what kind of person that you were. They're going to say Stefan was someone of integrity. Stefan was someone that was committed. He was committed to maximizing his potential. He was someone that when he says he's going to do something, he did it. He was someone that was an incredible human being, who was generous, or whatever it is. They're going to talk about your character and who you became. So for me, the goal would be to maximize that, maximize who I could become. And then the other goal that I'd have would be what I've given, what I've contributed to the world. And so that would be around whether that's philanthropy, whether that's making a difference through my work, through Project Life Mastery, inspiring people, changing people's lives. Because that's the other thing, when you die, that's your legacy. That's what people are going to remember you as. And you can either be forgotten or you can be remembered. And I'd much rather be remembered. So for me, it'd be around what I became, my growth, and what I've given, what I've contributed. And hopefully I'm demonstrating that right now and fulfilling this mission, this commitment that I have by inspiring you and encouraging you to set goals and go after your dreams and achieve. Because the world is what it is today. So many incredible things have occurred because of people that had the courage to set a goal and a dream and achieve it. And everything that you look around right now, this technology that we get to communicate on, the internet, everything that you have around you, if you look around, all created because of other people's aspirations, other people's goals, other people having the courage to step outside the norm and set goals and commit fully and make things happen. And if you could do this, guys, if you commit to the goals, the next 100 days could be the most powerful days of your life. I look back at my 100-day challenges and I'm so grateful for them because I know through them it's shaped who I am today. And it's changed my life. It's given me the ability to be able to impact you guys in this way and share with you guys. That's why I'm so passionate about this stuff, right? I can't fake passion. I'm passionate about it because I've done it and I've lived it. I've been there. I've been where many of you guys are right now. And I want you guys to know that no matter how bad it might